Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is New Year's week, and we've been looking at some of the ideas, the imagery, the things that are associated with this whole New Year's idea. And today I wanted to take a look at something that I find very curiously associated with the New Year's frivolity, with the New Year's imagery, and that is the imagery of the Grim Reaper. Now, most of the time when you look and see New Year's artwork, you're going to see babies, obviously, for the new year coming in, and you're going to see the Grim Reaper going and taking the old year out, I guess, is the way that it works. To me, that's very, very curious. Here it is, supposed to be a new year, excitement, all of that good stuff. And what do we have? But we have a Grim Reaper. So to me, very, very interesting. Also very interesting is the fact that death is personified across almost every culture. It's almost ubiquitous: Middle Eastern, Hellenic, Celtic, Latin American, Slavic, the Low Countries, Scandinavia, Baltic, India, East India, and even across religions. All the Abrahamic religions, including Islam. And of course, we see death personified across films, across television, across literature, across games. So this whole idea of death being personified is indeed a most ubiquitous idea and most ubiquitous concept. But it's interesting to me how it finds itself and melds itself and integrates itself with the idea of the new year. And of course, because the new year is such a completely arbitrary designation, it has nothing to do with actual cycles of life, has nothing to do with things actually being new or things actually being old. It's a rather arbitrary decision based on a lot of weird and strange factors, which we won't go into today, that we find ourselves in the middle of winter sacrificing, maybe some of you are, but at least celebrating a new year in the middle of winter makes no sense. But what makes even less sense to me is to have the Grim Reaper associated with a new year. And of course, we can say he's taken out the old year. He's taken out the old you. Let's be positive. I'm sure that each and every one of us coming into this time, even though it is a trumped up, silly, manufactured paradigm of this being the new year and the end of the old year, each one of us brings something to this time that we would rather leave behind moving forward. And I guess we could positively use the imagery of the Grim Reaper by saying, here, you take this, which is that which I do not want to partake in or have affiliation with any longer. Maybe you want to get rid of some attitudes. Maybe you want to get rid of some thoughts. Maybe you want to get rid of some ideas. Maybe you want to get rid of some habits. Maybe you want to get rid of some pounds. Maybe you want to get rid of some people. Now, I'm not saying give people to the Grim Reaper literally, but you know what I'm trying to get at here. Maybe we'll wax positive at first, and we'll say, let's go ahead and use this imagery of the Grim Reaper around the new year to focus ourselves on letting go of things, ladies and gentlemen, that are not helpful to us. And I just got a very kind Facebook message from Laura Eisenhower. We're coordinating a time to have her on the program coming up. Looking forward to that. I think she's a brilliant researcher and has a great story to tell. And hopefully we'll be hearing from her very, very shortly on the Christian Whistleblower Show. I'm also going to be on the Power Hour radio program a week from Monday, talking about the Mandela effect. So a lot of great stuff coming up. But let's use the Grim Reaper imagery to leave behind the things that we don't want to take forward with us any longer. And we can use it kind of militantly. We can say, all right, there's things in me that must die. There's things in my life that must die. There's things in my psyche that must die. Let's go ahead and get militant, and let's go ahead and become surgical. Let's cut things out. Let's remove things. Let's kill them. Let's let them go. But I can't help but move from the positive imagery of the Grim Reaper into a more realistic view of it. And if there is a more optimistic time in our lives than New Year, I'm not sure what it would be. Go to the gym right now. There's a lot of people in there that won't be there by Valentine's Day. But optimism reigns supreme in the new year. And isn't it interesting that in the time where optimism reigns supreme, the powers that be, the fear and guilt control matrix, still wants to put right in our faces an imagery of death, an imagery of finality, an imagery of losing, because we all have this sense that the one fight we never win is with death. Somebody said death is undefeated. I don't agree. I think death is without victory. Death has never won a victory. Well, that's not true. Death wins victories all the time. But there are those of us that are realizing that we don't really have to beat death. We just have to know death. And if we know death, we know that death really has no power over whom we really are. This body, yes, it's going to die, but who cares? That's why we can say, death, where is your victory? Oh, grave, where is your victory? Death, where is your sting? Because we don't care anymore. The end of this body does not mean the end of this entity, this energetic entity that resides within it. So even though they want to put this imagery of fear, this imagery of finality, this imagery of anxiety into your quote unquote new year, don't let them. Don't let them. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you are not this body, and if this body dies, it really has very little to do with your progression, except you get to go to a higher level. Mark just said something about death and death. Death is the emergence of knowledge from the Kabbalistic tree of life. And Mark, maybe the imagery of death is to keep us away from the imagery of death, or knowledge springing forth, knowledge coming to us in fruition. Because really, if we get the death, we don't care about the death. But if we're focused on the death, we'll never get the death. Thank you, Mark. DA''ATH is the emergence of knowledge from the middle of the Kabbalistic tree of life. It's what Daniel said, speaking of the Mandela effect, it's what Daniel said the Mandela effect was created for, was to discourage, delude, distract us from the manifestation and the arrival and the, my vocabulary is fleeting, the emergence of knowledge in what we call now the last times. And of course, Tracy Dyer goes back to the old, who was that? It wasn't Cheap Trick, who was it? That was Molly Hatchet, was it? Don't Fear the Reaper. Don't know who that was, but I remember the song. So don't let yourself get distracted by fear-based imagery when it really doesn't have any effect on you at all, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's turn another corner on this. Knowing that we know how we know that this culture and this fear and guilt control matrix is a upside down world. We are in the upside down. We are in a inverse manifestation of reality. Molly Hatchet, yeah, in the inverse reality, manifestation of reality. And if they want to scare us with something, that means there's something good. And if they want to say there's something good, then there's really something not so good. Blue Oyster Cult. Okay, sorry about that. Boy, Michelle Cannon-Free get a little upset about her Blue Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult. Okay, great. Flirting with Disaster was Molly Hatchet. You can see how I tied that in. But at any rate, what if the Grim Reaper is not one? What if the Grim Reaper is not a Grim Reaper? What if the Grim Reaper is actually a loving, beneficial entity come to show us the way out of this death and fear matrix? What if they don't want us to listen to an entity that might be coming to say, hey, it's the new year, think about your life going forward. It's the new year, think about not taking some of the stuff forward. It's the new year, think about maybe making a new you. I know it's possible, it's kind of out there, but is it possible? If they're trying to put out a Grim Reaper prototype at this time of year, are they trying to quash your optimism? If they're trying to put out a Grim Reaper prototype this time of year, are they trying to quash your motivation? If they're putting out a Grim Reaper prototype at this time of year, are they trying to keep you from leaving behind that which doesn't serve you any longer? And are they trying to keep you from optimistically looking forward to moving yourself into higher heights and deeper depths? I don't know, but I'm just very, very concerned and very, very convinced that most of the imagery that we see put forth by this fear and guilt control matrix is intentionally put forth, and that it really is a complete upside down. It really is a complete inverse of the manifestation of what is really possible and really helpful to us. And as I think Mark Center Saint just said, who noted the Reaper is grim. The Reaper is your best buddy. The Reaper is your best cousin. They is the powers that be. They that control the fear and guilt control matrix. Woe to those that call evil good and good evil, the upside down. When I get back out on the lake, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And I think it'll make even more of a powerful impact on you. Who says the Reaper's grim? I need to retitle this video. Who says the Reaper's grim? The Reaper's our best friend because he comes to usher us out of this mundane fear, guilt, control matrix simulation and give us the opportunity to go to a higher place, a better place, a place to continue our spiritual evolution. Kimmy Moss says that everything seems to be backwards. If the world says so, I'm starting to doubt it. Bingo, you're a smart lady. Crazy, a little bit crazy, but still smart lady. Kimmy and her husband, Mike, are the ones that I escaped Monument Valley with, and we had a great time at Grand Canyon, Sedona, Phoenix. We just had a great time, and thank you so much, both you and Mike, for that. Dr. Mike Moss, Doctor of Chiropractic. So anyway, folks, don't fear the Reaper, Blue Oyster Cult. Why don't we fear him? Because he's not grim. He's our friend. He's holding the door. Do you want to leave this craziness and go to a better place? Do you want to leave what you are and go to who you are? I'm holding the door for you. Don't fear the Reaper. The Reaper's not grim. He's here to help a brother out. He's here to help a sister out, ladies and gentlemen. So as you see that imagery throughout the new year, think about it. Leverage it to your advantage. And as you go through the year and you begin to be fearful of death, fearful of the end of this, don't be. No reason to fear the Reaper. The Reaper is not grim. Linda J says that he was in her mirror once at a hotel, sprayed the mirror with shaving cream, and she's still alive. Baby, take my hand. I remember that. Wow. You know what we ought to do? You know what? I'm going to do this real quickly. I'm going to go ahead and go to Don't Fear the Reaper, and we're going to read the lyrics. Don't fear the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper lyrics. Don't fear the Reaper lyrics. All right, let's look at this, ladies and gentlemen. All our times have come, here but now they're gone. Seasons, don't fear the Reaper. Nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can all be like they are. The wind, the sun, the rain, they don't fear the Reaper because they understand seasons. We were here, but now we're gone. Thank the gods that we have a chance to be gone and not here. Thank the gods that our times have come and they can go, that we're not stuck here forever. Come on, baby, don't fear the Reaper. Baby, take my hand. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear the Reaper. Baby, I'm your man. The Reaper's our man. He's saying, take my hand, brother. Take my hand, sister. Don't be afraid. This life ain't worth fighting for. Now, I'm not saying to kill yourself. I'm not saying to drink the Kool-Aid. Optimize your physicality so you can be the most effective while you're here. But this life is not worth fighting for, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fear the reaper. And then it says, la, 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 la. We're not going to read that part. Valentine is done. Here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet together in eternity. 40,000 men and women every day. I guess there's 40,000 people that commit suicide every day. That's a little dark. And I don't recommend that. But, ladies and gentlemen, I also recommend that you don't fear the reaper because he's not grim. Blue Oyster Cult, if you wrote that, it started off good, but boy, what happened? You guys must have run out of some of the good pot halfway through and got some of that pot that makes you depressed. Whoo, what the heck happened there? Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fear the reaper. He's not grim. Don't fight to hang on to this life, because this life is just a lesson. This life is not who we are. We're bigger than this. We're better than this. We're stronger than this. We're more powerful than this. But we've got some things to learn within this body. Let's learn to manifest the maximum in this body. I'm going to talk about that in 2019. I'm going to talk about learning how to manifest the most from this body, how to leverage the most powerful manifest moments in this body with the intention of getting us to the next level, getting us to the next place. I don't know what more cowbell means. I see it. I don't know what you mean. We have collected a lot of junk, says Deb Swanson. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I know Christopher Walken says it, but I don't know what it means. I really don't. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your head straight. Get your mind right. Stop being unsophisticated. Time to become unindoctrinated. Guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru. Do the inside job. This is the last generation, ladies and gentlemen, of real humans. This is the last generation of real humans. I'm doing the same thing. Who said that? I'm starting. Karen says she's starting. I'm going to start Gerald's and Krista's deal here in just a few days, the SRI. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We are the last generation of real humans. Let's get busy. Don't fear the Reaper. He's not grim. He's just holding the door so we can get closer to, boom, him and her, them, they. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. We'll see you again soon. Take care.